Hi, my name is Corinne Flax, and I'm coming to you from Storage Room 2 here at the Bruce Museum. Today I'm going to be talking about kimono in our current exhibition, Floating Beauty, Women in the Art of Ukiyo. This is a time period in Japan from about 1615 to 1858. And the exhibition is all woodblock prints, most of which focus on women living in this time period, and women of all different social classes, from the wives of merchants to women in the theatrical kabuki theater to the courtesans and geisha of the floating district in Japan. So today we're very specifically going to be focusing on a garment called a kimono. Kimono literally translates in Japanese to what people wear, and during Edo period Japan, they were worn by both men and women. Now, at that time, people in Japan exclusively wore kimono. Today, in Japan, you'll see people wearing all different kinds of clothing. Kimono are generally kept for special occasions and ceremony. However, some people will decide that they just want to wear them for everyday clothing, and this is still can be seen on the streets in Japan. A kimono is a garment which is essentially a robe shaped like a T. You can't see both of my arms, but I swear they're out like a T. The sleeves of the kimono can be very, very long. Traditionally, they reach to the waist, although they can go all the way down to the ankle. And the length of the kimono is usually also to the ankle. Kimonos tie around the waist with a sash called an obi, which is quite wide. And usually the pattern of the kimono versus the pattern of the obi is a contrasting pattern so that they kind of play off one another and create a beautiful relationship. During the Edo time period, when everyone was wearing kimono, they were made of many different fabrics such as hemp, cotton, and even silk as the silk trade with China grew. Things such as the obi, which I mentioned before, the belt, they changed. The obi became wider and wider, and the sleeves of it were able to get longer and longer as the obi got wider. And in fact, the length of the sleeve often was indicative of the marital situation of the woman wearing the kimono. As fashion changed, as kimonos got longer, as the sleeves got longer, women actually had to wear platform shoes in order that their kimono and their kimono sleeves would not drag on the ground, which is just an interesting rationale for having to wear an elevated shoe. So today, we're actually going to be creating our very own kimono using a template which you can easily download. Just click on the link and print it out. Or if you don't have a printer at home, you can certainly draw your own kimono. So first, I want to just show you the template as it prints out. You can see here how very T-shaped the kimono is. Also the wide belt known as the obi. This kimono has been designed with the more traditional waist length sleeve, but feel free to add length to that sleeve as you want. If you do decide to draw your own kimono, I would say absolutely feel free. I'm just trying to grab mine over here. I did a bunch of these. So here is the kimono that I drew myself. You could see I also started creating this one as a Halloween kimono with a pattern of ghosts, bats, and spiders with a pumpkin-themed obi. You may want to use just markers to create your kimono, and that can be really fun. I did this one based on a piece that's actually in our exhibition right now. I was inspired by the melon vine pattern of a kimono we have on display in the galleries. But if you want, you can also incorporate scrap paper. I made this kimono by using some blue scrap paper to really contrast with the orange color that I put on underneath. I'm not quite finished with this yet, but I'm still working on it. Now, what are you going to need to get started with this project? So the first thing you're going to need is your outline of a kimono. Again, you can either draw this or print this out from the template on the website. Your choice. There's no right or wrong way. Once you have that, you should decide what kind of colors you want to use. Are you going to draw directly on it using markers, crayons, or even paint? Colored pencil, crayons, any of those can be really fun to use. And do you want to use scrap paper? If you have patterned origami paper at home, you could make something that actually looks like a very traditional kimono, because the patterns on origami paper and the patterns on kimono are actually very much connected. The materials that I used for this project are in my bag. I used scissors to cut out my paper. I used glue stick glue and tacky glue to stick my paper down. I used markers, and I also used scrap paper. So I think you probably have everything you need to make your own kimono at home. Have fun, mix and match your patterns and your colors, and get wild with it. Have a great time.